flight across Wales and onto an island she had never even heard of seemed to be constantly held up, which meant that the journey, which someone had told her normally took 2 or 3 hours, might easily last all day. Nell sighed and returned to the contemplation of her miserable reflection. She told herself that she and her mother loved each other dearly and had been very close as sisters, her mother always claimed somewhat coyly, since her father, Tom Whitaker, had died. And now she felt that her mother had turned against her, reneging on her promise. She said she was sending Nell away because her sister, Nell's Aunt Kath, had written suggesting that Trixie might send her eldest daughter to Tyhane, her farm on Anglesey, where she would be safe, well looked after, and a great help. Nell had looked at her mother, almost unable to believe her ears.
"I didn't even know I had an Aunt Kath, and I don't want to leave Liverpool," she'd said. "Besides, you're staying here, so why shouldn't I? If it's safe for you, it's safe for me."
She had watched her mother's face flush and seen her eyes sparkle without understanding the cause. But presently she had learned the reason for her mother's excitement, and also, in a way, for her own banishment.
"I'm going to join the WAF, Queen, along with your Auntie Lou," her mother had said. "They won't accept anyone with a dependent child. So when your Auntie Kath wrote offering to have you, I was delighted."
She must have seen her daughter's horrified expression, for she added hastily,
"Oh, Queen, don't look like that. Don't you see, you'd be doing your bit for our country too, because growing food is much more important than being someone's secretary." "But, Ma'am, I'm doing so well," Nell had wailed. "Is there a secretarial college near this woman's farm? Might I go to it to finish my course?"
Her mother had looked uneasy.
"It might be possible," she'd said. "If you could continue your training, you'd be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You'd be helping your aunt whilst planning for your own future. As soon as you arrive at the farm, you can make enquiries. There's no harm in that."
"Right. And now you can jolly well tell me why I've never heard of this Auntie Kath before," Nell had said firmly. "I know you've got a lot of relatives, and some of them I've never met, but I've never even heard of a Kath." Trixie Whitaker had looked rather guilty.
"Oh, Kath and I fell out. She was set to marry a fella I didn't approve of. There was a big age gap. In fact, the whole family disapproved. So when Kath wouldn't take no notice but married and went off to Anglesey, we lost touch. You could have knocked me down with a feather when I got a letter. She said that Wine, that's the name of the fella she married, had died, and she was finding the farm too much for herself and the 1 worker left to her. I wrote back explaining I'd been widowed myself and saying I'd be glad to entrust my eldest girl to her care."
She had chuckled, seeing her daughter's puzzled expression.
"Kath didn't even know your name, let alone that you were an only child. Still and all, it were a generous offer, and I'm sure you and Kath'll take to one another. She's not a bad old stick. In fact, she and I were close until the quarrel. Why, I reckon she'll even pay you, 'cause she'd have to pay a land girl, only it seems she prefers family." "If she pays me, then even if there was a secretarial college 2 minutes' walk away, I wouldn't be able to attend it," Nell had said gloomily. "And why didn't you tell me when my aunt's letter arrived? You did promise you'd never send me away, you know, or have you forgotten?" "War changes things," her mother had said vaguely. "Just be grateful that I'm sending you somewhere safe and to a blood relation." "What if I hate it?" Nell had asked suspiciously. "Suppose Auntie Kath hates me for that matter. Would one of the other aunts take me in?"
She had pulled a face at the thought. For fond though she was of her mother's many sisters and cousins, their small houses were already horribly overcrowded. She got on well with Auntie Lou, but she was going away with her mother, and Nell had no particular desire to live with any of the others. Trixie, however, had shaken her head decisively. "I'd never forgive myself if you came back to Liverpool and got injured or even killed when the Germans started."